A good evening to you and thanks for joining us. You're watching the evening news on ABS and I'm Ifunanya Amafili. Our headlines trending for this evening. Governor Obiano advocates love to tackle national challenges. Nigerians urged to sacrifice for future of the country. Buhari extends tenure of acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Mohammed. And on the foreign scene, unidentified gunmen killed 13 people at a party in Mexico. And we'll start with the news in details. As Christians all over the world mark the feast of Easter, Governor Willie Obiano has urged them to reach out and touch their neighbors with love. In a special Easter message delivered in Oka, Governor Obiano observed that there is no greater manifestation of unconditional love than the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ for the salvation of mankind, which the feast of Easter represents. And we have details.
The governor explained that the essence of Easter is love, pointing out that there is no incident in known history that is higher than a man laying down his own life for his neighbors, adding that by dying on the cross, Jesus Christ demonstrated sacrificial love and rising from the dead gave mankind hope and sealed salvation. He said there was no doubt that only love can heal the broken world and make the society a better place for everyone. Governor Obiano observed that Nigeria is at a point of political development when some of the most intimidating challenges can be solved by a simple act of love. He exhorted Christians to live out the full meaning of Easter by eschewing those tendencies that endanger love and touching their neighbors in the same way that Christ touched mankind with love. The governor, who has just resumed work after a little holiday, explained that he purposely came back to celebrate Easter within the Anambra because his heart belonged with the people.
The Metropolitan of Onitsha Ecclesiastical Province and Archbishop of Onitsha Archdiocese, Most Reverend Valerian Okeke, has called on Christians to learn from the teaching of Jesus Christ and apply it to their daily activities. Most Reverend Okeke stated this in his Easter message at St. Anthony's Catholic Church, Umudioka. Amaka Chibuzo Okoye completes the story.
Most Reverend Okeke stated that if all should abide and live with the directives of the gospel, they will help to build a better society. He decried the high rate of violence and hatred in the nation, advising Nigerians to learn from Christ, who is love and respect human life, as well as live in peace and happiness with others.
The Lenten season is a time of intensive prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. So as we conclude that season, it becomes a week of joy in that we intensify even that period, our prayer life, our almsgiving, our penance in preparation for Easter.
The Anglican Bishop of Oka Diocese, Right Reverend Alexander Ibezim, in his message, condemned the incessant killing witnessed across the country. Bishop Ibezim, who was delivering his Easter message at the Cathedral Church of St. Faith's, Oka, beckoned on Christians to identify with the victory of Christ at the cross of Calvary and demonstrate his teachings in their activities to build a serene society devoid of bitterness and rancor. Bishop Ibezim maintained that human blood is sacred, stating that God created all in his image and warned that any blood spilled will ask for vengeance.
God has not created us to be killed like fowls or created individuals to be killed. Remember that human beings are created in the image of God, what we call imago Dei. So when you are killing a human being, you are killing an image of God.
In his Easter message, the Catholic Bishop of Oka Diocese, Most Reverend Paulinus Ezokafo, said that the resurrection of Jesus Christ is the basis for Christianity and hope for mankind. Most Reverend Ezokafo, who stated this at St. Patrick's Cathedral, Oka, said that if Christ has not risen, lives would be in vain, urging Nigerians to improve their spiritual lives. He urged Christians to defend their faith and stand by it, warning against false prophecies, which he said have led many to problems and difficult situations in life.
I call on all Christians to really go through the rituals and the celebrations of Lent in order to really enjoy the resurrection, because as we know very well, it's only somebody who has worked hard who will enjoy rest. And so if we have really done our Lent very well, then we have the joy of Easter.
Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Still on Easter messages, the Archbishop, Ecclesiastical Province of the Niger, Most Reverend Godwin Opala, has described Christianity as a religion of love and victory. He stated this while delivering his Easter message at the Archbishop's office in Nnewi.
Most Reverend Opala, who maintained that of all religions, Christianity is the only one whose founder rose from the dead, which according to him makes Christianity the best in the world. Archbishop Opala, while describing Easter as the most important of all the church seasons, maintained that it reminds and teaches the faithful that their Redeemer liveth. According to Most Reverend Opala, the death of Jesus Christ epitomizes his love for mankind because he died on the cross for the redemption of the faithful.
Easter is the most important of all the church seasons. It reminds us and teaches us that our Redeemer is alive. Christianity is the religion of love and victory. Jesus has conquered all his enemies by his glorious resurrection on a day like this. He has conquered death.
Most Reverend Opala, who is also the Anglican Bishop of Nnewi Diocese, affirmed that the power in Christ's resurrection has become the basis of Christian preaching. He charged Nigerians to learn how to make sacrifices for enhanced development of the country. Archbishop Opala urged the citizenry to support the effort of the government in fighting corruption in order to improve the economy of the Nigerian nation.
The Anambra State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arraigned a 27-year-old Mr. Victor Ndubisi Unegbu on a 2-count charge of unlawful possession of cocaine and cannabis sativa, popularly known as marijuana. The suspect was arrested with the substances at Ifitedunu, Dunukofia Council area on the 16th of this month. And our correspondent, Daniel Ezeigwe, was at the hearing and now reports.
Mr. Unegbu, who was said to have been caught with 10.4 grams of cocaine and 10.2 grams of marijuana, however, pleaded not guilty to the charges. The presiding judge, Justice I.B. Gafai, adjourned the suit to the 13th of June 2019 for hearing and ordered that the accused be remanded in prison custody pending his bail. Throwing light on the case, the Public Relations Officer of the NDLEA, Anambra State Command, Mr. Charles Odigie, said the suspect had been on the agency's wanted list for long and restated the agency's determination towards ridding the state of illicit drug dealers.
In the past 3 months, we've had over 15 convictions and we have over 105 pending cases, both Court 1, Court 2, Federal High Court in Oka here. So we are doing our best. But the problem we usually have with people like this is that immediately you take them out of circulation, they have boys that also sell for them. You see their boys taking over their position. But we'll continue to go after them.
Earlier, the defense counsel, Barrister Tawobi Aku, said that application for bail had been filed as the crime was bailable and that his client remained not guilty until proven otherwise by the law.
It is a bailable offense by virtue of Section 36, subsection 5 of our 99 Constitution says an offender is presumed innocent until the contrary is proved.
In Oka, Daniel Ezeigwe, ABS News.
Christ the King Landlord Associations in Kworo, Udugu, Akabo land in Oba Idemili South local government area has been dedicated and its electricity project commissioned by the Bishop Diocese of Amici, Right Reverend Ephraim Ikeako. The executive members, stakeholders and residents of the estate gathered at the area to witness the event which featured the handover of the estate to God. And our staff reporter, Njideka Okoye, covered the ceremony and our reports.
Christ the King Estate. Christ the King Landlords Association was formed in February 2017 by many groups, individuals, and clubs that bought land in the estate, which has its boundary with Oguguoba and Isu, Togugoba, and Ezelembana villages, all in Oba. The leadership of the association deemed it fit to hand over the estate and its residents to God amidst praise singing and prayer on the land, led by the presiding bishop, Right Reverend Ephraim Ikako. On the same day, the transformer donated to the estate by the state government was powered. Dedicating the association, Bishop Ikako, who spoke on Where is Your Foundation, noted that the success of any building depends on its foundation. He said that two contradicting foundations cannot work together, pointing out that foundation led by anyone determines his or her future. Bishop Ikako urged them to give their lives to Christ and renewed their spirit to overcome the desires of the flesh.
Some of us are suffering because of faulty foundations. Whatever you do, please check your foundation.
In his address, the chairman of the association, Mazi Okechukwu Nkute, thanked God for his sustenance, stating that they carefully selected a 30-man larger executive from different organizations that own land in the area to ensure unity, equity, and fairness among the members. He thanked the Anambra state government for releasing a 500 kVA transformer to the estate, as well as Isu and Ezele villages, and individuals that assisted them.
We appeal to our members to always comply to the need of the association. Security equipment, motorcycles, etc. are highly needed. We appeal to individuals and groups to start developing their land as fast as possible for safety purposes.
In their remarks, the Vice Chairman, Mr. Gabe Obiora, and the Secretary General of the association, Comrade Patrick Onwuchekwe, two of the executive members, Evangelist Samson Ona and Mr. Sylvester Nnamene, thanked God for making their dream a reality and urged the residents to be their brother's keeper. The DPO Ojoto Police Station, Prince Ugochukwu Ezejiofo, and his Oba counterpart, Mr. Ifeanyi Abanafo, said they have been partnering with them for adequate security of lives and property. Others who spoke at the event include the legal advisor of the association, Chief John Nso, one of the founders, Mr. Okechukwu Ogunezu, Chairman Ezelembana Youth Welfare Association, Mr. Okudele Mmademeze, among others. From Christ the King Estate, Oba, Njideka Okoye, ABS News.
Buhari extends tenure of acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Mohammed. And on the foreign scene, unidentified gunmen killed 13 people at party in Mexico. We'll have more details on this news when we come back. Do stay with us.
Listening to this announcement, Anambra State government has banned every form of street trading and hawking in all streets, major roads and highways in the state. The ban is to enhance easy flow of traffic, improve environmental sanitation and aesthetics. Anyone caught flouting this ban will be prosecuted. Let us support the efforts of the state government towards promoting a socially stable and sustainable environment. Announcer Christian C. Madubuko, PhD, Anambra State Commissioner for Trade and Commerce.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. President Muhammadu Buhari has extended the tenure of the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Tanko Mohammed, by 3 months. The National Judicial Council approved the appointment of Justice Mohammed following a recommendation sent by President Buhari. Mohammed was sworn in as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria on January 25th by Buhari after the president suspended Justice Walter Onogen as the Chief Justice of Nigeria following the directives of the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The first 3 months of Mohammed's tenure expires on April 25th. A statement released by the NJC confirmed that it considered and approved the request for the extension of appointment sent by the president. It also debunked a report that the council would meet to decide on the extension of the acting CJN's tenure. Former Chief Justice of Nigeria Onogen on Thursday was convicted by the CCT on a 6-count charge of false declaration of assets and was barred from holding any public office for the next 10 years. Onogen has denied the charges and appealed the judgment. Catholic youths in Obosi, Anambra State dramatized the Passion of Christ as part of programs to mark the Good Friday and to remind Christians of all the passion Jesus went through on Good Friday. Blessing Ijedibia has more on the story.
The Passion family of St. Albert, the Great Catholic Church, Odumo-Obosi, dramatized all that transpired before the crucifixion of Jesus as they marched through major routes in the commercial city of Onitsha, commencing from All Hallows Seminary, Onitsha, through Mpo Old Road to Odumo-Obosi, highlighting the sufferings of Jesus to save mankind. The Passion family and other Catholic faithful that joined the procession observed all the stations of the cross. The ever-busy Mpo Junction stood still as passers-by stopped and watched in admiration. Commenting on the essence of the drama, the parish priest of the church, Reverend Father Damian Anyanechi, called on Christians not to see suffering as the end of the road.
Our Christian life is not a bed of roses. Following Jesus Christ in suffering unto death, that calls us for endurance. All we are suffering in this world, we are able to focus our focus on Jesus. We have patience and endurance.
On his part, the leader of the Passion family, Brother Chukwuma Ekenze, said the drama was to remind Christians of what Jesus passed through for the redemption of mankind.
The Passion family of St. Albert the Great present this little drama to show the world and to show ourselves that Christ came to this world and died for us.
Oh, go say God.
Blessing Ijedibia, ABS News.
Moving over to the foreign scene, 13 people, including a child, were killed when a group of unidentified gunmen opened fire on a party in the violence-racked eastern Mexican state of Veracruz, officials have said. The Secretariat of Public Safety said the gunmen arrived at a family reunion in Minatilian, asking to see someone named El Becky, the owner of a local bar, before opening fire. It was said 7 men, 5 women, and a child were killed, and 4 others injured in the attack. There was no known motive for the shooting, but Veracruz is plagued with organized crime, and bloody gun battles frequently erupt between rival drug gangs. Moving over to sports, Jarrell Miller, who was denied a license by the New York boxing officials over a failed test on Wednesday, has failed the second drug test, according to media reports. Miller recently tested positive for human growth hormones, HGH, which is on the World Anti-Doping Agency banned list. Miller's planned June 1 fight against world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has already been scuppered by the first failed drug test, which came to light on Tuesday. Miller, who is undefeated in his 24 professional fights, was due to take on the Briton at Madison Square Garden for the WBA, IBF, and WBO titles. Miller previously served a 9-month ban from the Californian State Athletic Commission after testing positive for methylhexanamine when kickboxing in 2014. Now remember that you can follow our news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page, which is ABS Radio Television, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online, and follow us on our Twitter handle at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website, which is www.absradiotv.com. Before we end the news this evening, we'll take you through our main highlights for today. Governor Obiano has advocated love to tackle national challenges. Nigerians have been urged to sacrifice for the future of the country. Buhari has extended the tenure of Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Mohammed, by 3 months. And on the foreign scene, unidentified gunmen have killed 13 people at a party in Mexico. And with that, we'll wrap up the news this evening. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Ifunanya Amafili. Do have a beautiful evening.